We are back for another episode of my F1 25 My Team Career Mode. We're here for the Canadian Grand Prix for round 10 at the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve. Now guys, as always, the previous episode, the Spanish Grand Prix at Barcelona, will be linked in the top right. Click on the annotation and go see what happened. And yeah, spoiler warning ahead. If you're going to enjoy this episode, I'd appreciate a like, and if you're new, subscribe to the channel. And let's get into today's updates.
This marks a bit of a milestone for us. Cause to celebrate, Chief.
So we've received quite a few, research updates, development updates, also facility improvements, and also we have an engineering facility department event. Now you can see in the bottom, we also have updates for team owner and also corporate, so a lot going down, and you can see our cash flow and R&D points are still climbing. We're still level 2 fan rating, but we are getting close now to level 3 as we saw a moment ago. Anyway, let's check out this department event real quickly and see what it is. So for this one, I believe it's actually going to be linked to achieving the phase 2 last episode, where we basically improve the facility, and we are going to incur an extra 100 R&D points. Now, last episode as well, we also left our owner training pending because basically we had no time to apply this onto the activities tab. So we're going to go ahead and now apply that. Exemplify Success is the name of the training point we're going to use, and yeah, that's going to basically now take place along with the rest of the activities. We're going to avoid the blitz, which doesn't really work that well on the engineering side of things, and then also we've done a few kind of focus sessions for the chassis, aero, and I think powertrain. And then on the corporate, we focus mainly on trying to improve our facility expenditure and fan rating. So yeah, productive activities as we now delve into research, and we have received the status for the ERS on the engine. So we're going to go ahead and now purchase the ECU to be researched to improve fuel efficiency. We've also received the MGUH, and we're going to go ahead and now do another research project. This one's going to be the energy store because this is quite important. We only get 2 of those all season, so it's important that we get that sorted out. Now for the corporate, we have received level 1 on the outreach group, which basically means secondary sponsors will be 10% more keen on wanting to sign with us, or basically discovery is the proper term for it, will be increased by 10%. So we're also going to add another one to that, and it's going to be secondary sponsor team, which basically is going to improve our income by 5% with secondary sponsors. Now moving on.
Hey Chief, we've finished developing a part and it's now ready for fitting. Make sure to stop by the Assign Upgrade screen when you get the chance.
Now we'll circle round to the Assign Upgrades a bit later on. We have some more updates to get through. First off, redeveloping the floor update on the chassis, and then also you can see we now have the option of engine upgrades to make, and we're going to go for the spark plugs because we already have one made, so we're going to go for the second one. And then also we're going to develop another durability upgrade. We've got the ICE sorted out, so we're going to go for the MGUH, which also wears out quite a bit on our car, on both cars to be fair, with Jarno and also Nicola, and we're going to sort that out ASAP. So with those upgrades done, we can now move into some other updates as we skip ahead on the timeline. More research, more development coming in, but this time we've had a couple of failures once more, so we quickly make our way over to the dev screen, and you can see here we had a failure on the wing mirrors. So we're going to go ahead and repurchase the failed upgrade and also purchase a second batch of wing mirrors, because we can now do 2 upgrades at once on the aero. Like on the chassis, we can get really productive. Now we've received the front wing gurney flap for the research, and we have no more upgrades left. We are waiting for a facility improvement on the aerodynamics to basically unlock the next phase, the aero breakthrough, which is what it's called, to allow us to do more upgrades on the aerodynamic side.
Great news. The development of a part is complete and it's now ready for fitting. Be sure to visit the Assign Upgrade screen when you have a moment.
So we have received the aero breakthrough. There it is, which is going to basically, as I mentioned before, allow us to now work on more upgrades on the research of the aero. First off though, we have one for the engine, of course, the ECU, which we just worked on, and we're now going to basically look to try and see what of these next upgrades we can actually afford. And the front wing profile was the one that I was most keen on, to try and improve front downfall. So we are going to eventually buy that on the research. It's going to be 900 points, which now they're starting to get a bit more expensive, but that's all good. We can keep working and unlocking more upgrades as we push on. So development's going to continue, and speaking of which, the wing mirrors, the first batch have arrived, so we're going to go for the front wing gurney flap, which we just researched a moment ago. And yeah, like I said, the upgrades are still flowing. The chassis, we've received both upgrades, so we're going to do one more for the energy store cells and basically clear our timeline of upgrades on the chassis. So we now have a triple upgrade to apply, and all of these are going to go onto Jarno Opnir's car, because we today are racing as Nikola Solov. So we'll give Jarno the tools for the job to hopefully get the best result possible this weekend at the Canadian Grand Prix. And yeah, we're going to hopefully see an improvement in his car, which should be pretty significant. So with that out of the way, let's talk about the performance graph heading into this one. We, for the first time this season, are no longer at the bottom. We've overtaken Haas and VCarb, and we are right behind Sauber. So hopefully, in not too short time, we'll be above Sauber as well, as we have unlocked another upgrade for personnel, this time the bidding management group. So this is going to allow us to actually officially now make our personnel phase 2. So officially, we have phase 2 personnel, corporate and engineering on all three. So we've got that achievement unlocked, which is great. And we're going to go ahead and do another upgrade. You can see actually in phase 2 there's a lot of improvements in this facility, which is really exciting. So there's a lot of depth here and a lot of things we can potentially do. But for now, I want to try and clean out phase 1 first. And we're going to go for the contractor management, which basically means you can see we can do 2 facility improvements at the same time in the personnel tab. So that's going to be productive to hopefully get some of these out of the way. On the engineering, we got the aero breakthrough, so we can now work on something else. And we've got a bit of a backlog of durability updates. So we are going to go for the durability expansion, which basically means we can do, 2 upgrades at once and try to speed things up a little bit and get the car a bit more reliable. So with all of that done, I unlocked yet another owner training point. So for this one, I've kind of neglected personnel a bit so far. So we have now got the phase 2. We're going to pair that up also with the word of mouth for personnel, which basically increases the rate of hiring in the personnel department while the sentiment is positive. But we can't put the point on just yet. We don't have enough days on the timeline like the last time out. So we're going to have to do that next episode. And hopefully that will be part of my training regime very soon. Anyway, selecting Solov, we arrive at the forecast, and oh my days, we have a lot of rain this weekend, and I'm not joking, I mean a lot. To be fair, the race is mostly dry, but there's still a decent chunk of rain arriving at the end, so a lot can happen. Here's the championship though. You can see last time out we scored no points with Jarno, we missed out, 0 points yet again. Second race in a row with him, that's been the case, but Solov still in the top 8. Now, one thing I want to address before we jump into the activities this weekend is updating a few parts. The MGUK on Solov's car is a bit knackered. Energy store, which is also pretty knackered. We've only got 2 of those. We're going to go to that second unit now for round 10. We've still got 14 rounds to go, so we're likely going to take a grid drop. I don't think we'll make it until the end of the season with that second unit. And then in terms of the setup, I actually changed from top speed to balance because of that rain. I think this might be a better option. I'm going to put the rear wing down a little bit, so we're not super aero, but I want to make sure we have a bit more downforce on the car baseline because that rain is going to be here for most of the weekend. So we'll jump into practice and we're going to get things started. Now we do the track acclimatization program first. We just scrape a green gate at the hairpin on that lap as we cross the line and do pick up a maximum score, purple score. So yeah, job done on that one straight away, and a good start to practice as we now delve into the next practice program. This one is going to be the ERS management, and this one was quite easy to be fair, mostly running none in sector 1. Really done the trick here to get the bar into the purple, and then basically we just had to manage it for the rest of the lap, which was fine. So job done, worked really well. You can see on the graph there, the first sector looked really, really good, and we've done most of our work in that one as well. And then finally we've done the race strategy. Now for this one, I normally do 5 laps, but I've only done 3 because we have quite a bit of rain in the race. So the data isn't completely relevant because we have that bit more rain to factor in, and the data from this doesn't really carry over to wet weather conditions, so it's kind of irrelevant. So we'll get the baseline data, enough to get the maximum purple score, which is 3 laps. And yeah, you can see here, tyre wear looks pretty good, below 1%, which is really encouraging. Fuel load also under 52, really good. We do finish P12, Jarno last P22, but to be fair, the whole fuel within 2 seconds, so it could be pretty close. Either way, That's practice done. We pick up a nice haul of R&D points as always, and bringing our total back above 6k. But we're now going to jump into that rainy qualifying, and we're going to see exactly how things go in Canada.
Welcome back, everybody. We're here in Canada at the wonderful Circuit Gilles Villeneuve. Who's going to come out fastest of all in the next hour? Yes, it's time for qualifying.
So here is the forecast. I was in the garage, and you can see the conditions are actually improving or scheduled to improve throughout Q1 to the point where it's going to be dry in 20 minutes time. So I went out on track a little bit later than the rest of the other AI cars and trying to just see how the track feels. Right now, not much of a dry line at all, so it's definitely on the wetter side, but the track is scheduled to dry. Either way, I wanted to get a lap on the board, but there wasn't a lot of grip. George Russell was a 1 minute 20.7, which is a good reference time to have. As we cross the middle sector, we are half a second up on Ollie Behrman, and not looking too bad, but there's a real lack of grip on track right now as we head into the last chicane, closing out our first lap of this session, and we're going to head over the line, and our first lap is going to be a 1:23.1, which is nearly 2.5 seconds off Russell's time. A 1:20.7 is what George did. So on this cooldown lap, I actually...
It looks like the weather's going to dry up in about 5 minutes time. Inters look like the best tyre for now.
Got a weather update, and I decided to box because it seems like we are going to have, if not dry running, very close to dry running. So I want to save these tyres because there's going to be a lot of wet weather running this entire qualifying and in the race as well, and you don't have loads of inters, so I want to make sure we save these tyres. And yeah, Lando went out. He was the only car to go on track, and he went straight to the top. 1:18.1 on Inter with 3 minutes to go, but the track was getting dry. That's a very quick time, so Lando's going to miss the cut, but everybody is going to go out on dries. Now the issue here is adaptation. The AI will just go flat out at their 110 pace and be very quick, whereas we need to adapt, and we're only going to get one lap here, so this is going to be really difficult, and I need to execute. Turn 1 though, we run it in a bit deep. I get some grass on the front right, and I get a horrible line through turn 2, and suddenly we're on the back foot. Towards turn 3 though, the chicane, I cut. The grip was more than I expected, and we cut and invalidate. So that is our qualifying over already. We're last. Verstappen's on, well, I'll say pole, he's in P1 in Q1, but we're last. Lando also the big one, of course, being knocked out on the Inter as well. Jarno's out in P19 with the upgrades, but to be fair, it was a case of last person to cross the line will set the best time. I was the last car to cross the line, so I would have had the best conditions, but I couldn't quite read the grip level properly, and it caught me out, and we cut, invalidate, and that is our qualifying over. So suddenly we have a massive mountain to climb in the race, and we could be staring down the barrel of yet another non-points finish, which, Monaco aside, has been the case for the last 5 rounds. So yeah, let's get into the race.
Montreal is not only the second largest French-speaking city in the world, but it's home since 1978 to the Canadian Grand Prix. The name Villeneuve looms large over this one, but who can write their own legends today? If you want flat-out racing, you've come to the right place this weekend, as it's full throttle for 59% of this 2.7-mile circuit, peaking at around 210 miles per hour going into the final chicane. But that speed requires discipline, and there are more than a few close walls here just waiting to punish drivers with a heavy right foot. It's time to see how our drivers are stacking up after yesterday's exciting qualifying session. Max Verstappen put in a fantastic lap yesterday, and he'll start from pole position, just ahead of George Russell, who starts this event from P2. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Piastri, Tsunoda, Charles Leclerc and Hamilton, Antonelli, Sainz, Albon and Pierre Gasly, Hülkenberg, Doohan, Gabriel Bortoleto and Behrman, Hadjar, Stroll, Esteban Ocon and Fernando Alonso, Opmeer, Lawson, Norris and Nicolas Zoloff rounds off the grid. Now it's almost time for lights out, so let's go down to the track. And alongside me for this afternoon's commentary, Naomi Schiff. Good afternoon, Gnomes. Oh, Canada. Oh, Canada. What a track this is. And what a challenge for the drivers this weekend. Long straights, heavy braking zones, and a very green surface to start with.
This happens to be one of the drivers' favourites. It is a low downforce circuit that is fast and flowing, but it is also demanding on the brakes. And be careful, because let's not forget the wall of champions that catches out so many.
So, time to get serious. We are at the back of the grid and we have everything to gain and nothing to lose. Now, Lando Norris is alongside us in the McLaren. For this one, the big factor here is the rain. We have two icons at the end and we'll see. It looks like it's going to be quite heavy if it arrives because we have a light rain icon and a heavy rain icon. Now, both of these strategies have been personalized. There's no big difference. Canada's one of them tracks where you probably can two-stop because the pit lane is one of the quicker ones, if not the quickest on the calendar, because the entry and the exit gain you time relative to what you lose in the pits, because you basically cut the last chicane and the first corner. With that in mind, we might change our strategy, but the one thing we're going to do is start on hards. Go long. If the rain, fingers crossed, arrives early, we might be able to go straight from hards onto intermediates. That's my plan. That's my play for this one. I'm also hoping we get more rain than what's shown because the setup I've gone for, as you saw, is more high wing, more rain focus. So hopefully that gamble pays off. But other than that, we're ready to go and I want to see what the pace is like. So let's get to it. I've also, by the way, underfueled by half a lap. First time this season I'm taking that risk. I'm kind of thinking ahead. We tend to save fuel throughout the race. You'll save fuel in the pit stop. And if it rains, we'll save fuel there as well. So let's see how we get on. Well, this really isn't optimal. For tyre warm up, the pace is shocking into this hairpin. Anyway, one thing I want to do.
Okay, radar is clear, weather is looking good for now. Dries definitely seem like the fastest tyre at the moment.
So no word on rain for the time being, that's fine. We're going to get a serious bit of tyre warm up here. That's a good thing about being last, is that you can give yourself a gap and scrub your tyres a bit more, so we'll hopefully have these hards up to temperature. Let's change our engine modes here. Also our battery. One last burnout for the road. Let's get to it. Right. Let's see, this could be a fun race. Got a mixture of tyres as we wait for the lights. Good launch.
Okay, we're monitoring some wear on the internal combustion engine. Be aware that we're going to start to see a loss of power.
Nowhere to go here, we're just boxed in at the minute. We're going to have to just be patient. Lawson with the better line on the mediums on the outside. Oh, almost drove into the back of Alonso. We accidentally pass Opmeer, who doesn't put up a fight. Keen to see just how many cars have gone for hards. But either way, we have gained a couple of places. Let's see also what the straight line speed looks like, considering we did go for a higher downforce preset. This could be interesting. This hairpin, there might be a massive concertina effect. Alonso down the inside of Ocon, who defends. And they're both just changing their lines. You couldn't tell if they're going to go wide or kind of get back on the racing line, but we go around the outside of Ocon and we clear him, so we're now 18th. Both Astons on the medium ahead, making moves. Ocon straight back through. I thought I was going to be okay there, but Ocon using his battery wisely to re-overtake. Nice we get a warning early on. Got a load of dirty air through the chicane there, so it's understeered.
DRS now enabled. DRS enabled.
I want to try and get back past Ocon if I can. Not going to be easy though. But, you know, considering he's running the same compound, he's a direct rival. Track limits will be a key feature of this one, so we'll have to watch out for that as well. For now though, we are going to just sit behind. Whoa. Ocon had a look at Alonso. We sneak through, and it's a carbon copy of the last lap. This time though, there's some DRS to help us out, so we should be a bit harder to overtake. And there we go, Ocon this time doesn't go by. Verstappen setting the pace out front. Don't feel super comfortable through the chicane just yet, but hopefully we'll build up our confidence throughout the race. Stroll and Hadjar been side by side since turn 1, and they're still going at it. Seems like we're now having some time loss. Hadjar holds on, but Stroll was looking to go through. Otmir's actually also, by the way, passed Ocon, I've just realised, so Otmir's looking pretty decent with the upgrades. But we have lost DRS to the cars ahead, which is a bit of an issue, so this could get spicy on this very lap. Hadjar without DRS on the back straight could be a bit of a sitting duck really for the next 2 DRS zones. But let's see what Stroll does as we head down towards the hairpin. We're very strong through here, especially on exit. I think already we're starting to get the upper hand on the medium tyres. Alonso's burning quite a bit. Stroll, is he even going to go for it? Yes, he does. No, he doesn't. Either that, Aston's slow in a straight, which doesn't seem to be the case, or the V-Cub's very quick. Ocon, Otmir battling still. Losing time now. This isn't good. There we go. Good move. Feel like I've had better traction than Alonso, especially there. Also out of the hairpin, like I mentioned before. This time, I won't let him get back through so easily, as we're probably stronger at this stage. Plan is to try and get these two and try and climb a few positions. I think Stroll will be pressuring, but won't make any passes. My plan here is to try and pressure Stroll to kind of make him burn some battery and commit to making a move.
There are 28 laps of fuel remaining, 28 laps.
Still no word on the rain. Right, let's use a decent bit of battery here. I want to see if Stroll does anything and we can try and get involved. Looks like he's committing this time a bit better. And Hadjar just backs out of that one. He won't have DRS, so this is going to be my chance to get through here. Oh my god, that V-Cup's rapid on the straight. DRS and using all my battery, and Hadjar still pulled away. No wonder Stroll was struggling to get by. I'm going to try and do the same move as before with Alonso. Just nail it on the traction. Yellow flag. Oh my god. That's Behrman in the wall.
Safety car. No overtaking. Reduce your pace. Keep your delta number positive as we form up.
Well, that's a critical pass at a critical time. But now the question is, do we box or do we stay out?
No threat of rain for the time being. Conditions look good. Okay, dries seem like the best tyre for now.
We've got enough tyre wear that I'd say we should box. The question is, what tyre? Do we burn our second hard already? I think we might have to.
Okay, we can take you this lap.
Right, good entry. Let's go for it. Let's commit. Hopefully Otmir pits. No, he stays out. Why do the AI always do this? Why can't you control your teammate and tell him what to do? I get it, he's going to stack, but it makes sense for him to box. Either way, we're going to go for our second set of hards. Hopefully at least Otmir boxes this lap so he doesn't have bad tyres.
You only have to stop once now. One stop left.
Wow, Jarno stays out. Very interesting. So he's going to be a massive cork in the bottle here on this restart.
And some information on Leclerc. Okay, it looks like the problem's terminal. They're retiring the car.
So Leclerc's just pulled up here at turn 1. He's out. mechanical failure, I assume. So now we are net P14. That's unbelievable. Wow. Right, safety car in this lap. Just trying to get some front warm up. As we go green, I've lost a little bit of ground here on this restart, but we should be okay. In theory, we should be a bit quicker. Everyone now on the same compound.
Okay, clear.
Barring Doohan behind on mediums. But the pack is now going to bunch up, especially with Opmir up the road, slowing everyone down. So, look lively. There could be opportunities here for us to sneak a few more passes. But I genuinely think we've got some decent pace today. I think we can do this on merit without needing any assistance. But for now, let's focus on this restart. Let's take it easy. Tyres are still getting up to temperature.
Okay, expect to see some rain about 10 to 15 minutes from now.
So that's the first rain update, as Opmir is already causing trouble ahead. Meanwhile, Doohan having a look. It's all kicking off. Everyone's getting to be impatient. Can't go anywhere. Why do the AI always make mistakes under braking?
No tyre concerns at the moment, just focus on the driving.
And it's orange damage as well. I think Gasly ran in deep there. Everyone just came to a standstill. Oh my god, we're getting swamped everywhere.
Understood, stopping this lap.
What a joke, man. I wasn't even pushing that hard or braking that late, but just a sudden stop. I just couldn't react to that. Got another yellow into turn 1. Something's happened again. Either way, we're in for the mediums. Oh my god, Yono's out. We've lost the other car. That's unbelievable. Right, well, it's just Solov now in this one. Myself. That's all we have left. We've burnt up our hards and mediums. No safety car. Nope, no safety car. Well, we're going to be running on our own. Really now, we need to kind of get these tyres to the wet phase.
Okay, the stewards have now enabled DRS. DRS is now online.
Yeah, we sort of need to make it to the rain with ease, so this could be a long, painful stint. But, oh, I can't believe that's happened again. That's unbelievable. Isaac Hadjar in the pits, possibly damage. Switches onto a set of soft tyres. Not sure if he is repairing damages or not, but hopefully we can pass him. I think he is repairing his wing note, so we'll move up a place. Personal best in clean air by quite some way. Still need more pace than that though. More cars in the pit lane. That's interesting. Hamilton on the signs as we, for the first time, send it through the last chicane, trying to find my confidence level. 13.0, that's a great time. We just matched the fastest lap of the race. That's a serious time right there. I just wish we had hard tyres on, not mediums. More cars in the pit lane. As we are making up some ground. Everyone's boxing, and I think there's some different strategies. So not everyone was on the hards like I expected. I think there's been a few different strats from that safety car. So we're not out of this race, but we are still a bit far.
There are 20 laps of fuel left.
Still haven't had a rain update in a bit, so I'm waiting for that. But it is getting a bit darker. The clouds are forming. Oops. A bit too much there. Got a warning for that one. Let's try and keep it nice and clean now.
Might see some rain, ETA about 15 minutes. Dries definitely seem like the fastest tyre at the moment.
That rain just feels so distant at the minute, but we are catching the cars ahead, so it's all good. Lawson in. I have no idea what the strategies are. They're very varied, very mixed, much more than I thought.
The rain's a few lap outs yet, but it is coming, so be careful.
Right, that's a significant update, so it could be raining within 2 laps. That changes things quite a bit. So, critical laps here just to keep this pace going and trying to close in on the cars ahead. I'm still taking risk. There's a slight bit more caution, but we're still pushing to stay close because we're back in this race. I just hope the pace in the wet conditions is quick and the setup that we went for with the adjustments pays off. Oh wow, cars are in. There's actually quite a few cars in the pit lane. As far as I'm aware, it's not raining. That has been patched in today's 1.03 patch. So, they should be going for another set of dries. It's game on. I have no idea now what's happening. I'm just waiting for this rain. But if we just stay on track, the pace is still great. These tyres are really hanging on. My pace is brilliant. Return to form to early season. We're super quick. Just got to hang in there. We're catching signs in Bortoleto. On track. Believe. Trust the process. At the minute, Hulkenberg is P2 and he's just boxed. Verstappen's out front cruising. Sainz, Bortoleto were scrapping quite heavily. They were side by side to the hairpin. Quite a few cars in again this lap. We're going to move back into the points. That's incredible. It's going to be brief though because the faster cars behind are catching. Tsunoda, Russell, Norris are all there. So they'll be on the back of me at the end of this lap. Tsunoda's close. I'm just going to keep him out. I'm able to brake very late into the hairpin. And instead I'm going to try and see if I can get Bortoleto. I think he's got DRS on Sainz, which he does. It's going to make things quite complicated. So we're going to have to hold station for now. Sainz also making more moves up ahead. Bortoleto pits. Got a little frame spike there, but we're through. It should start raining any moment now. Yuki goes quickest. We block him off as Russell takes it away. Here we are then, back with Ocon. This is going to be spicy. Cars behind are super quick. I am starting to slowly run out of grip on these tyres. It won't be the worst thing in the world if we do let Tsunoda and co go through. So I just feel like I'm needlessly under pressure, but the rain could be here any second. But I won't fight it too hard. So there goes Yuki. Minimal time loss is what I'm looking for here. Russell will follow. That's fine. Norris is 5 seconds back, so we can just sit behind George and Yuki and let them cook away. They just break so much. If an AI makes a mistake, Ocon there locking up. They all just slow down so much. Verstappen's in from the race lead. So everyone is actually pitting here. So this race has fully come back to us now. So rain would be our ally. And our best solution as Ocon also pits. Let's try and stick with these guys. We are going to gain more positions and move up even more. Into P7. Ocon pits, and now Sainz is scrapping with Tsunoda. It's all kicking off here. There we go. Raining. Rain falling.
Okay, the forecast suggests this rain's going to keep getting stronger for at least the next 15 minutes. Okay, dries seem like the best tyre for now.
It'll be inters till the end, so now it's about timing the switch. We'll see if it's a quick transition or a slow one. At the minute, grip feels fine. So it feels like the visual bug has been patched and fixed correctly. The grip feels okay-ish.
You should be feeling the effects of some tyre wear soon, so stay on your toes.
Thing is, it's important to not confuse my own tyre wear with the loss of grip in the conditions.
Don't forget, box this lap.
But I think I'm inclined to box as a precaution on this one. I think it might be worth it. Inter's ready.
Confirmed, we'll receive you at the end of this lap.
I'm not going to risk it. We've got ourselves back in this position. I don't want to get in the barrier. Got a very warm medium tyre, so I'd rather go safe. If we're a lap early on the Inter, it's not the worst thing in the world. But we're on the right tyre as the conditions are going to get worse. So hopefully this is the right call. Here we go. Slow stop. Oh my god, it's really slow. 4.9. That's a horrible stop. And we've got more work to do because of that.
That was our last stop. No more scheduled pit stops. Let's go.
Uh-oh. Into the grass. I made a stupid mistake there. Rookie error. That's a horrific pit phase. We'll lose out all those cars we were battling, but hopefully we should still be in the points. Doesn't feel great grip-wise, but we'll see. We'll keep an eye on the deltas. Not sure. Might have gone a lap too early. There are some cars that are in, but are they going for inters? Yes, they are. So everyone that stayed out could be on the wrong tyre, so we might get a chance to recover some of that lost ground. I've lost out so much. Look at this though. Look how far back we are behind all these cars. We've messed it up. Slow stop and the bad exit. Oh my god, I've shot myself in the foot. So now all the leaders are in. All the top guys. It's going to be a busy pit lane. To be fair, there's some cars who are boxing again. So actually, we're not as out of this as I thought. The grip doesn't feel great though. But let's see. We'll know exactly what our true position is over the line. Looks like P13, so we are out the points, which is still disappointing. We're going to be on the back of the queue. There's a big old train up ahead. Oh wow, okay. Actually, a couple of cars are in, so not everyone is on the inters. Either that or something's happened or damaged, but I'm assuming there's still a couple that haven't got the inter on yet. Alonso and Albon, so we'll move up a couple places, but still out the points. I think could be closer with Alonso. At pit exit. No, we're ahead. Okay, nice.
At least another 10 minutes until this rain evens out. Stay alert out there.
Right, well, I need more rain than this. This isn't great. I prefer heavier rain conditions, as we know. My pace is awful right now. We are nowhere in the wet. The 110 AI are very quick, which I like. That's how it should be. It should be tough. But we are, in this game, more of a dry weather driver. We don't have the answer in the wet. Even with the setup adjustment. Alonso tries. Around the outside, we'll shut him out. Because if there is a DNF, we'll bag a point. But we are rapidly losing ground to the point scorers ahead. Alonso back again. We'll just fend him off, but this won't take long. He's way quicker. He's got the freshest inters out of anybody. It's not really raining that much. Just feel like I'm lacking grip. Alonso will have a half look. But yeah, at the minute, unless someone DNFs, we're not getting points. We're going to miss out again, which is really frustrating. Alonso through. Going to go straight back down the inside and fight that one back. We'll drift on the way out, but we hang on. We'll have some fun, although Alonso's got his battery on this time. And we might have to let him go. I thought he was going to brake check me and lose my wing again there. I had to get on the brakes. I lost all momentum because of that. I am marginal on fuel as well, so we're going to have to try and save a little bit. In a bit deep there, under pressure from Jack Doohan. I was trying to also lift and coast a bit to save fuel. We'll get a nice, strong exit though, because of that, running deep. So we should be fine to defend ourselves from the Aussie. So, Verstappen wins already. I'm trying to nurse my fuel here, so it's going to be really close. We'll need a big lift and coast here. I'll say big, enough that I can still fight this one. We've got the battery so we can burn it. If need be, one big lift into the last chicane should do the trick. We've got the traction there. Supposedly it's heavy rain. It certainly doesn't look or feel that, but it is what it is. My fault today. We should have got points and we didn't. So, yeah, that's on me. Lessons learned. One too many mistakes. Either way, I think we're going to limp over the line here in P12.
Okay, pick up rubber and bring it home.
It's another victory and a champion's performance from Max Verstappen.
Well, that's 2 wins in a row for them now. That's really going to help them gain confidence and start to build that momentum that they're really going to be looking for.
It's time for our podium celebrations. And as ever in Formula One, 3 is the magic number. One of the all-time greats celebrates yet again. It's another podium, it's another top step for Max Verstappen.
Right, so there we go then. Results in Verstappen dominates around Canada. Piastri Tsunoda P2, P3. We was right there with Yuki at that point where it got really critical and we got it all wrong. So I'm gutted, I really am. That was a race where we threw away points, and I've seen the comments, you know, am I doing this on purpose? I genuinely am not. I am human, I can make mistakes, and this car is sometimes hard to drive. You know, the reality is it's a tricky car to drive, and I am also using default setups, right? So the general feeling is understeer with this car constantly, but the back end isn't something I'm super confident with, and ever since I've switched to, you know, default, there has been more mistakes. So that's fine. I want it to be tough. This makes it more challenging for me, more enjoyable for me. The wet weather should be hard with 110 AI. If I were winning in the wet, it'd be no fun because, you know, that AI would be terrible, right? It's just in the dry around other tracks, they need a bit of a buff because they're a bit slow. But this is great. I like this. It makes getting a point, a P10, challenging. But today, we should have done it and we messed it up. So that's on me. Even though we had a slow stop, that is on me. I messed up with the wing damage and the pit exit, and those things alone definitely, I think, would have got us in and around that P10 fight. You know, with Stroll, Lando, Hulkenberg, Gasly for sure. So yeah, no change in the standings for our drivers. Of course, Jarno DNF'd as well. So yeah, luckily we're still P8 and P11. We're not actually dropping that much, but there are plenty of drivers who are queuing up, especially behind Jarno, Gasly, Albon, Alonso, those three right behind. So Jarno could be dropping very shortly. Verstappen's got a very big lead, 37 points out front. He's comfortable now in the constructors. Ferrari lead the way. Red Bull just behind, McLaren on a bit of a gap in third, and we're still P5. That's the most important thing, because that's where the prize money is, and that's where big upgrades in the off-season for Season 2 are going to happen. So that is what I'm keen, and that is what I'm focused on, the Constructors' Championship. That is what we have to do well, and we still have nearly 30 points over Williams, and that is all that matters, and all you have to take away from this episode. Anyway, guys, hopefully you enjoyed. Smash the like button, subscribe for more absolute chaos. On screen now, you're going to have the fallout from that one, and you would have had the fallout from that one. I think we should still hit some decent goals. I think it should be still mostly positive feedback, even though we've got no points, because we still had some, you know, positives throughout the weekend. But either way, guys, hopefully you enjoyed it. A massive shout out to my members of the channel. Check out the 2 videos on screen, and I'll see you guys soon. Ciao.